Good afternoon. Welcome to my podcast, Knitting with You. My name is Brandy. You can find me on Instagram as Abby and Bella's mom and on Ravelry as Mweasley. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. It is a long weekend here in the United States. Tomorrow is Labor Day, and I was lucky enough to get the whole weekend off. Well, Saturday. I work at a bank. We're open on Saturdays, but I got the day off. So, nice 3-day weekend. I made myself a weekend to-do list, and so far, I haven't done anything from it. But it's only midday on Sunday, and I still have tomorrow as well. So, fingers crossed that I'm able to get those things done, along with a few of your typical weekend activities. Groceries, laundry, that kind of jazz. It is a very nice weekend here in Maine, where I live with my husband, our 2 daughters, and our mini dachshund Daisy. The temperature right now is about 72 degrees. There's a light breeze, which is nice because if you're out in the direct sun, it is hot. My husband is actually outside right now, and he is in the direct sun. He is replacing a bunch of the boards on our front porch that unfortunately have over time, a couple of the support boards underneath have actually rotted. And then the pressure treated ones on the top have just gone yucky. So we thought we might be able to flip them over and reuse them, but they're bad. They can't be reused, unfortunately. So he's going to be heading off to Lowe's here in a few minutes to get some new ones. So it's been a while since I've sat down to chat with you. When I looked at my little book where I keep my podcast notes, it's been just over a month. Work has been very busy. I've been working quite a few extra hours. And per my usual, I have recorded a couple of times, and then I start to overthink things, and I become very critical of myself and my recordings, and I delete them and start over. I did sit down just a little bit ago, and then I got an interruption, which totally threw me off. I mean, it was fine, not that big of a hoo-ha, but I had to start all over again. So, fingers crossed, this one makes it. I have some whips to share with you today. I have a finished object to share with you today, and I have a bunch of new to me items to share with you today. So, I want to make sure that this podcast doesn't get too long. So, I want to start things off by saying a very big thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my channel and who have taken the time to leave me wonderful comments. I greatly appreciate all of it. It means so much to me. I sometimes wonder if I should keep doing this at all. But with your nice comments, it's definitely incentive to keep going. I love knitting so much. Dan Jones, who is one half of the Bakery Bears, said one time in one of their podcasts that knitting is not a hobby. Knitting is a lifestyle. And I absolutely agree with him 100%. And I also love knitting podcasts so much. I enjoy watching them more than regular television. So I just also want to share all of my knitting projects with you, my sewing projects with you, and just generally chat about other things that I get up to in my day-to-day. So let's get on with it, shall we? First, I'm going to have a quick sip of my water. All right, let's start with some works in progress. I have 3 of them to share with you today. I'm going to start with some Christmas knitting that I have started. The 2 Christmas items that I'm going to share with you are both socks. And this first pair is a pattern by Kay Jones. She is the other half of the Bakery Bears, but I'm sure you all already know that. This is her crunkled socks pattern. You can find this on Ravelry, and I believe Kay also lists her patterns on Love Crafts. I've never looked at Love Crafts before. I usually just get them from Ravelry, so I have them in my library there. But this is a really fun pattern. Not a mindless pattern, but I found the best way to describe it is very similar to Hermione's Everyday Socks, which is a pattern from Erica Luder, and I'm going to guess probably the most knit sock pattern out there. I've certainly knit it a couple of times, and I know lots of other knitters who have knit it multiple times. So it's just a nice, easygoing type of pattern. You do have to pay attention, but you can still, it's good for car knitting, it's good for TV knitting. I've done it in both places, although you wouldn't think so considering my progress so far, but it's a wonderful pattern. All of Kay's patterns are very well written, and she's an excellent designer. So this pair of socks, I am using some yarn from a lady that I have been following for quite a while now. I started following her back when she made project bags and stitch markers, and she was actually going by Knit 1, Crochet 2. Her name is Bella, and she has since started dyeing yarn, and she has changed the name of her business to Area 51 Fibers. And she is in Canada. And this is a Harry Potter inspired colorway, and it is called Errol. And if you don't know, Errol is the rather kooky family owl for the Weasley family, who are my absolute favorite Harry Potter characters. This is a self-striping yarn, as are most of Bella's yarns, and she does many, I guess, fandoms, as you would call them. I know she's got some gaming inspired yarns. She's got a lot of rainbow yarns, Gilmore Girls, Star Wars, donuts. Yeah, so check her out if you like self-striping. I've actually got a couple more of her Harry Potter colorways, but I left them over there. I have Sirius Black and Ron Weasley. So when I get to knitting those up, you'll definitely see them. So this is Errol. It is just some really pretty creams and kind of a soft goldeny yellow and brown. And it knits up like this. So this is a 64 stitch count size that I'm doing, which is usually what I do when I knit socks for myself and my girls. Oops. Let's get this out of the way. So that's how far I've gotten. I'm using Chowgu needles. They are my favorite. This is a 2.25 millimeter size, which is what the pattern recommends, and it is my needle size of choice for socks. Mostly for lady socks. I have knit my husband's socks on 2.25 as well, but sometimes for his I use 2.5. So that is my first work in progress. Obviously I have some time, so One of my works in progress is actually somewhat time sensitive. It's for a knit along. So I need to get that finished, and then I can definitely get really cracking on my Christmas knitting. So it's Christmas knitting, so it's in a Christmas bag. This is a super fun print, nutcracker print. And this bag is from Rachel, who is So Ray Me on Instagram and Etsy. This is her stamp. I love the polka dots here on the inside of the bag too. This is just a great size project bag for things like socks. You could use it for hat, mittens, if you like knitting toys, which I certainly do. It's a good size for that. She's got a lovely leather cord drawstring, and you can see right here this little clasp for putting stitch markers, or you could put scissors or anything that you want to have at the ready for your project. This bag was part of my Christmas mystery box that I got last year from Rachel. I have ordered her box this year. I don't know if she has any more for sale in her shop. She did half of the listing on Friday, which was when I set my alarm for, just because of the time difference between the US and the UK. The Friday time definitely worked better for me. So I'm excited to get that when it comes. It's kind of like having a Christmas advent. I mean, you can open everything all at once, but last year I opened things every couple of days, and that's what I plan to do this year. So Rachel always includes one of her handmade project bags, and then there's some yarn dyed by a yarn dyer. I think last year it was Eden Cottage Yarns, and she always picks a different one, and then she sources little goodies from other small businesses, which I think is really fun. Yeah, so I'm anxious to get that. She did put up another listing in the morning hours, UK morning hours. I don't know if there are any still available. I would say go to her Etsy shop and check, but please don't be surprised if they are all sold out. They sell out quickly. All right, work in progress number 2. Let me just move this pattern so I can share with you the next one. The next one is also a pair of socks, and it is another pattern from Kay from the Bakery Bears. This is her umbrella socks. I'm not knitting this one exactly to pattern because this is a toe-up design, and I don't completely dislike toe-up socks, but they're not my favorite. I do prefer cuff down. So what I have done, I have I have a lot of Kay's patterns, and I have some of her other patterns that include the umbrella toe. So I thought I would still do a cuff down sock. I would use her original umbrella toe, and then I would just incorporate the new portion, which is the umbrella heel. So these socks are for my husband. I wanted to try this new sock design with the new heel construction from Kay on my husband first. He has large feet. He wears like a 12.5 or a 13 shoe. And I just thought that the shape of the heel might fit his foot really nice. So I don't know if I would knit it for myself, but I'm kind of testing it on him, even though my feet are nowhere near as big as his, not even close. But anyway, I am using opal yarn. This is a really good hard wearing yarn, so he wears his socks all the time in the winter, and this just holds up really well. So that is the ball band. It's from the Beautiful World line, and this is what it looks like. I think this one, I did not wind this on my Nostapina, which is right there. I actually wound it on my thumb. I saw Danny from Little Bobbins do that once, and I've been rewatching her podcasts lately, and I came across that video again, and I thought, I really need to give that a try. And it works great. It's like having a Nostapina. However, when you're giving the yarn ball little turns, it tightens up on your thumb, or at least it did on mine, and I had a hard time getting my thumb out. I actually had to kind of, when I was done winding the yarn, I kind of had to twist the ball back in the other direction to sort of loosen it up. It didn't get super tight and uncomfortable, but it was tight enough that I couldn't pull my thumb out. So I finally got my thumb out, and it also started my center pull. Most of the time I prefer working from the outside, but it'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. If I have to reball it from the outside, just so, because when you start from the middle, it kind of makes things get all like loosey-goosey and they collapse and it can get all tangled and stuff. But it's fine. So this is the yarn. It's kind of some pretty kind of greenish blue or bluish green sort of colors. And then I have this navy, which is just Knit Picks Stroll. I'm going to use this for the heels and toes. And then it's kind of nice if he wears through, I can cut that out and just reknit it. I try to keep a bunch of solid colors in the stroll in my stash so that I can have it for heels and toes. All right, so let me show you my progress. I'm knitting these on 2.5mm ChowGoo needles, and this is how far I've gotten so far. I do 68 stitches in the cuff, which I then increase in my first knit round to 72. I think I'm going to start the heel in this white stripe right here. I'm going to put markers in there for it, and then I just have to go a little ways farther on this lower portion for the foot before I start the toe. And actually, I really should measure this against his foot to see how much farther I have to go. The umbrella toe is a little tiny bit longer than just like a wedged toe. And I don't want these to be too long because then he won't wear them if they don't fit right. So, but it's fine. I have time. He's not getting them till Christmas anyway. Okay, so that is work in progress number 2. Work in progress number 3 is a knit along that I have been taking part in. If you want to join, please feel free. It is going on till the end of September. It is being hosted by Anna, who is Skeins in the Stacks on Instagram. And this is a fun little knit along called Myrtle Bear and Friends. And it is, we are knitting some fun little animals designed by Cynthia Valle. And I am knitting Bunny O'Deal. She's so sweet. I absolutely love her lop ears. I think that's what sold me on the pattern. And also, it's knit all in one piece. So, and I love knitting toys. I just don't want to knit something that's got like a gazillion pieces that have to be attached. I love Susan B. Anderson's toy patterns as well because they're also kind of, for the most part, knit all in one piece, which when you're working with something really small, you kind of want that. So this is Bunny O'Deal. The pattern, it's not just the bunny that you get. You also get patterns for sweet little clothes. So there's a sweater. There is a sweater dress. There's pajamas and some little socks. I'm trying to find the picture of the little dress. I think I'm going to knit her the little dress. Here it is. I'm going to make her this sweet little sweater dress, and you can also see the little socks right there. So that's going to be fun. And the knit along originally was just supposed to be for the month of August, but Anna decided to extend it. So if anyone wanted to knit any or sew or just make any little extras for their animals, then that going till the end of September gave more time for that. I'm going to make my bunny a quilt after I have finished knitting her and her little sweater dress. I did a fabric scrap swap with Rachel, who is So Ray Me on Instagram, earlier this summer. And when Anna said that she was extending the knit along so that we could make little extras for our animal friends, I knew instantly that my bunny was going to get a quilt and that I was going to use the fabric bits that Rachel had put together for me. So I have to finish the bunny first, so the quilt will definitely be made last. And I'm thinking I'm going to try the quilt as you go method again. I had fun doing that last year when I decided to give it a whirl for the first time. And with the little pieces and things that she gave me, I think it's going to work out the best for assembling the little quilt. All right, so let me show you my bunny. She is in a bunny bag, of course. I got this bag a year or two ago, and it is from Duckpool Lane. She is Leslie, and she is on Etsy. She makes all sorts of wonderful project bags. She does DPN cozies. She does notions pouches. This is my newest one from her. I do have a couple more coming. I just remembered that. I want to have notions pouches, obviously not for every single project bag, but definitely enough for all of my on-the-go projects so that I'm not having to take from one to put into another and then finding myself caught short. So this is my bunny so far. She's not stuffed yet because I think I have to soak her before I stuff her. I've noticed that in some of the photos in the pattern, but I haven't read ahead enough to know exactly for sure. So she's empty. So she looks a little crazy in the face. But here she is. I just finished her little foot this morning. I haven't even woven in the ends for that one yet. But there are her sweet little locked ears. So she's super cute. This is just a really soft, creamy, sort of beigey color. The yarn that I am using, I picked up the color for the body, and then I picked up these two colors as well. This top one is blush, and this one is burgundy. I got these when my best friend and I took our annual besties trip. I got these in Belfast from Heavenly Yarns Knit Shop. And the yarn is 60% superwash merino, 10% nylon. Nope, scratch that. 30% nylon, 10% cashmere. I have those. And then when Anna decided to do the knit along, she also put up some little mini skein sets, and I was able to get one of each from her. So there's this one here with these 4 pretty colors, and there's this one here. These ones are some richer kind of jewel toned colors, and then each one came with this sweet little hedgehog progress keeper. He's a little too heavy to hang on the yarn. He would definitely pull on the stitches. I just need to hook him onto a project bag, like as a zipper pull, and I just haven't yet. So all of this is in my bag, all at the ready. I did have a little bit of trouble with my bunny around her bum area. I was not reading the pattern correctly. I had to tink it back 2 or 3 times, and then I simply ripped it out the final time when I noticed the part that I was misinterpreting, and after that I was able to move on and everything's perfect. She's got a cute little bum with a cute little tail. So one more leg and she will be done in a timely fashion. I know some of the other ladies taking part in the knit along they're way ahead of me. They've got their little bears and they've got sweaters and they're going on adventures already. We're getting there, slowly but surely. All right, so those are my works in progress. I only have one finished object to share with you today, but it is completely new. You haven't seen it in any part. I did show you once before that I was knitting as Christmas gifts this pattern, again from Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. Her wrist ticklers. This was a free pattern on Ravelry. It still is. I showed you these. These are the first ones I knit. I knit my husband a pair of socks with this. This is Knit Picks Felici in the Baker Street colorway, and these were the 2 leftover bits from the 2 balls that I used for his socks. And these are a gift. And then I had knit this one. I got one done for myself. These are, this mini set is from Down Sheepy Lane, and this was colors inspired by The Witcher, which is a video game, and it's also a show on Netflix now. And I love the colors. I thought they were super pretty. And it was while I was knitting this one that I thought, as the colors were going along, I thought, I wonder. And that's when I decided that I was going to try something, but I wanted to see how it was going to go and was it going to work before I shared it with you. And it worked. And I actually shared it with Kay Jones, Bakery Bears, because what I did is I combined 2 of her patterns. I combined the wrist ticklers, which again is a free pattern, with the Philosopher's Cowl pattern. This one is a paid for pattern. So if you like what I'm going to show you and you want to do it, you would just have to, if you don't already, go download the wrist ticklers and then purchase the Philosopher's Cowl. This is a great cowl pattern as well. I knit this when the pattern first was released, and I absolutely love mine. I wear it all the time when it's weather permitting. And I used some Harry Potter minis that I had received back, that I purchased back when Kay was still dyeing yarn. And I absolutely love it. So what did I do? Well, I'm going to build up some anticipation. First, I'm going to share with you the yarn that I used. So the yarn that I used is from Mr. B Yarns. And I used the Dark Side. This was a mini skein set inspired by Star Wars. And I have all of my wrist tickler projects in one project bag. So I tucked these minis just into a Ziploc bag. I'm not a fan of plastic bags. When I do use them, I reuse them till you can't reuse them anymore. But I just tucked these in here just to keep them kind of separate from the other yarns that I was using. But let me take them out because there's a glare. Pardon the crinkles. Come on. So here they all are. 5 colors. And then I used just a plain gray for the 2 cuffs. It's the same gray that I used for the Baker Street ones. And again, this is just some Knit Picks Stroll. So like I said, I like to have a bunch of that in some solid colors, just kicking about for things like this. All right, without further ado, do pardon the fact that my ends are not woven in. Ta-da! I knit wrist ticklers in the Philosopher's Cowl pattern. So her color changing technique and the cuff, or the, I don't think you'd call it a cuff, but the top, the neck bands for the 2 portions, the top and the bottom. I'm really, really, really happy with these. I like the length. It's just, I think it's perfect. Sorry, I'm trying to slide this on and my fingers are getting all tangled up in the ends that are tucked inside. Yikes. Oh my goodness, there's one right over my finger. There we go. So when they are just on my wrist, they come up my arm to a decent length, like mid-forearm, and they've got a little gather, a little bunch. But then if it gets chilly, I can slide them up. And if I'm wearing these at work, because sometimes it gets chilly, my fingers are still free for typing. And I can then, if I'm out for a walk, and it's not cold enough for mittens, but still chilly enough that I want to keep my hands warm, I can just slide them up. And my hands are nice and warm, all tucked inside. So these work up really quick. I think I mentioned that before, which makes them excellent for gifting, whether it's for a birthday or for any holiday that you celebrate, be it Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or any holiday, any special thing. It could just be because. So that is them. And I actually showed these to Kay when the second one was still a work in progress, just to show her what I had done. And she was really tickled with my idea to combine the 2 patterns, and she liked it so much she was considering knitting some like this herself. So I hope she does. I'd be interested to see how they turn out for her. All right. I will get back to knitting my second Witcher one. Probably at some point after I finish my Bunny Odile. I do have a couple fall knits that I want to do, but they're very small. There are a couple of Susan B. Anderson patterns. One is for a sweet autumn garland, and the other one is a cute little Halloween design that I want to knit up for my mom because I know she'll love it. All right, oops, let me get these back in the bag so I don't wonder where they've got to. Oh, that's the bag I didn't show you. This is my fringe field bag. Oops, pardon the little spot on there. I don't know how that got on there. It'll wash right off. This is the plum bag. I got this kind of when this waxed canvas thing first came out. It was kind of hard to catch because they were so popular. I didn't even get this from Fringe. I ordered it from Fiberspace. They are in Virginia. I went to their website and I actually called them to see if they had any, and they did. And yeah, so kind of sad. Fringe has gone out of business. Unfortunately, a victim of coronavirus. So I did manage to, they were having a sale toward the end, and I did manage to get one of their tote bags. So I've been using that. Like when we go on day trips, I just put, you know, some of my bits and bobs in there that I want to have, a couple of knitting projects, my wallet, just chuck it all in there. And I'm all set for the day, and I end up not having all kinds of multiple bags kicking about around my feet. Just everything was all tucked into one. So that's handy. All right, so moving right along. I hope I'm not talking too fast. I have a tendency, if I get excited, I end up talking a little too fast. So my apologies if I am. If you have any questions about anything that I've shown or talked about, please feel free to just ask me in the comments below, or you can send me a message on Instagram. Excuse me. I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my podcast and who has been enjoying my episodes. Some of you have left me some very nice comments, and I greatly appreciate that, and I hope that I have replied back to everyone. I certainly don't want to leave anyone out. You have taken the time to not only watch my episodes, but also leave me a nice comment, and that really means a lot to me. So I want to make sure that I am thanking you for both. So thank you. All right, so let's see. I have a bunch of new to me things, but so that I don't forget, a couple of fun things that I'm going to be doing with the holiday season approaching. One of them I am, I guess, hoping will still happen this year. I thought about messaging the person, but I know that they've had a recent death in the family, and I know that they're trying to keep busy, but I don't want to be a pest. I am referring to Kelly from Lay Family Yarns, and I'm sending my deepest condolences for their family loss. Kelly has hosted an annual Advent yarn swap for a while now, and I have participated in it for the past 2 years, and it has been so much fun. I've made a couple of wonderful new friends through this yarn swap, and I just love putting together the Advent package for my partner each year. I love collecting little bits and bobs here and there to include, making things for it, winding up the little yarn minis. It's great fun. I actually, when one year is done, I start looking for things for the following year. So I'm really hoping that that still happens this year. I am also doing Advent swaps with a couple of other new friends. I am doing one with Marta, who is Mad Fuzzy on YouTube and Instagram. Marta she's the owner of Mad Fuzzy Yarns, which is a Maine yarn company. She sources her fleeces, gets them spun, and then she dyes them all here in Maine. I have some of her skeins and they are beautiful. In fact, one of them I have to get caked up so I can get myself a pair of wrist warmers so that I will have them for apple picking season. The yarn is called apple picking, so it's only fitting that I have some wrist warmers made from it when we go apple picking next month. And then I was chatting on Instagram with another new friend. I know you all know her. Her name is Jeanette, and she is Crafty Creations on Instagram and YouTube. She has a wonderful podcast, which I look forward to watching every time I get the notification that there's a new one. And I had ordered a project bag from Jeanette because she makes beautiful project bags. And it was really taking a long time to be delivered. And I messaged her just to find out if maybe it had been returned to her or if she had any information on its progress. And she was so nice. She was very apologetic, offered to give me a refund, which no. I wanted to wait for my project bag to come. I had a feeling it would. I have found through this crazy year of coronavirus that a lot of the things, or a fair bit of the things that I have ordered from the United Kingdom, some things come in their usual timely fashion and some things take a bit longer. And this was one of those items that was definitely taking its time. So we had decided that we would wait just a little bit longer, maybe give it till the following Monday. And I said usually about the time I give up on it is when it shows up. And sure enough, it did. But through our conversation, we shared a bit about ourselves with one another. And in the back of my mind, I thought, I wonder if she would want to do an Advent swap with me. And next thing you know, she's typing, would I like to do an Advent swap with her? And that just tickled me so much. It made me smile inside and out. And I said, absolutely, Jeanette, I would love to do an Advent swap with you. So there's another one. And I, of course, have already started getting together little bits for that as well. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun, yarny holiday season this year. I didn't get a big Advent yarn Advent calendar like I did last year. Last year I got one from the Yarn Lab UK. It was a Christmas at the Burrow. It was a Harry Potter inspired Advent, and that was amazing. I did get one from her this year, but I think it's just a 12-day one. And it is Harry Potter inspired. And I'm trying to remember, I think this one is based around Potions class. I think. I could be confusing it with the Halloween one that I got from McMullen Fiber Company. I've been doing some shopping. I was supposed to be on a yarn diet this year, but coronavirus killed it. I was supposed to go to Rhinebeck, so that was one of the reasons for my yarn diet, was so that I would have spending money for Rhinebeck. But as everyone knows, every yarn festival on the planet has been postponed this year. Some have gone virtual, but I have just been trying to support and shop throughout this crazy period, and it's been fun. All right, so that was just my little side note before I shared with you the new to me items. Before I forget, I have to show you the bag that I did get that Monday from Jeanette. I messaged her and I said, guess what arrived? Right on time. So here it is. This was a beautiful, this is a beautiful Liberty Fabrics bag, which I love Liberty Fabrics, and the print on this is just beautiful. And of course it's red, which is my favorite color. And I didn't think I was going to be able to order from Jeanette, because when I saw this on her podcast, that this was going to be going into her Etsy shop, I went over to order it and it said it wouldn't ship to the US. So I messaged her and I said, is this true that your items aren't going to the United States? I assumed maybe it had something to do with Corona and just the whole shipping debacle that it was causing. And she said, oh no. She said, let me go in and fix that. I was not expecting to get this bag. I thought for sure it was going to sell out while she was adjusting the shipping parameters. And I thought by the time I get back in there, it's going to be gone. And surprisingly, it wasn't. So I ordered it, and then I waited, and it finally came. So this is it. It is super cute. This is her stamp right there, Crafty Clags. And I do have some yarn in here all ready to go. It's not a whip because I haven't started anything, but this is some Christmas socks from one of my daughters. It is some opal. This was from my stash. This was one of the first skeins of opal that I ordered. There's a great online shop here in the US called hotyarns.com, and they have opal yarn for a great price. I always seem to find it on sale, and their shipping rates are great. It's like $3 no matter how much you buy, and it comes really quick. I think it's an East Coast company, so that might be why I get it fairly quickly, but I'm good with that. But this is the color. Oh, I didn't say. I showed. It's their sweet and spicy, and it's berry mix, I guess, is the colorway name. So here it is. If I show you the bottom, I think there's like some blues in there, and then just all the pinks, some little pops of white, and of course the green. I thought that would knit up fun. I don't know if I'll do any particular pattern with it. I'm actually thinking I might knit up a quick swatch just to see how the pattern goes and then decide, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just pick a simple pattern and do it up. Maybe I'll do Hermione's every day. I have mine knit out of opal. So, okay, new to me section. There is only one bit of yarn in this, and the rest is all fabric. And it's mostly Christmas fabric. But that's fun. So, all right, let me show you the yarn. I got this almost 3 weeks ago in the mail. I'd say it's probably closer to 3, definitely 3 weeks ago. I ordered this from Lay Family Yarns, and pardon the crinkling noise, I haven't taken it out of the packaging yet. But these colors are so pretty. I can't remember if this set had a name, and I don't know if it's written on the back of this ball band here, because I haven't opened the package to check. But the colors are just so pretty. I think it would make a really pretty cowl. Maybe with some mohair or Surrey alpaca worked in with it. I think that would be super pretty. I wish I wore hats, because I know that Kelly has been knitting and selling kits for the magpie hat. And my apologies, I don't remember the designer's name. I think her last name is Ford. And I only just now remembered it because I just watched Angela, who is knitting on the farm, and she showed her hat that she knit and mentioned the kit that Kelly was offering for that hat. But I don't wear hats, which is kind of a bummer because there are some really cool hat patterns out there. Maybe I should rethink that whole wearing a hat thing. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. So that's some new to me yarn. Now the fabrics, most of it I got when Rose, my best friend, hi Rose, when we went on our besties trip that we do every year. This year it was supposed to be Rhinebeck, but Corona. So we just did our usual. We went to Freeport, which is a really fun town here in Maine, kind of a touristy area. And it was a little more, it was a little more relaxed in that we weren't go, go, go with shopping all the time. Again, shops, not all the shops were open. Some were open, but you had to make an appointment to go in. And we just decided that we were just going to keep things low key. Yes, we were still going to do some shopping, but we weren't going all out for it. So we found ourselves with a little more time just hanging out in our hotel room, which was great. It was very relaxing. We watched the first 2 Lord of the Rings movies, which we love Lord of the Rings. And we did something that we've never done before. And this is something good that's come out of this Corona crisis. We were crafting together in our hotel room, sitting on the bed, me knitting and her crocheting. She's picked up her hook again and she is crocheting. She's been working on blankets for herself and it is awesome. I'm not allowed to get overly excited about it because, as she keeps telling me, we don't know when it's going to go away, but I am certainly enjoying the time that she is fondling some fiber. So anyway, it was a great time. It was a great time. And I think going forward, we are definitely going to, if she's still hooking, we are definitely going to have to leave ourselves a bit more time to just chill in the hotel room and have a little fiber therapy. Excuse me. All right, so the fabrics that I got them at a couple of different shops. The first bit that I'm going to show you, there's actually a few little bundles of it. I got at this cute little shop in Freeport. I gotta figure out what the name of it is again. I'd never been in there before. It was called, pardon me, Cotton Weeds. And the lady in the shop was so nice. It wasn't just fabrics. They also offered like punch needle and embroidery. I'm trying to remember. This was back in July, so they had lots of crafts. There wasn't any yarn, which was fine because I certainly enjoy sewing as well. But I liked what she had to offer for fabric, and she was very helpful and friendly, and we just kind of chatted while we were in the shop looking around. So I got this sweet little pack. They're not fat quarters. They're actually half. Each one is half of a fat quarter. But I saw this fabric here in a bigger piece that wasn't tied up in this little bundle. So I was able to open it up, and it was so sweet. And then I saw this little bundle with these other really cute fabrics in it. And I just thought, oh my goodness, that is so precious. I just have to have it. And kind of like when I'm buying yarn, I don't always have an exact project for it straight away. Sometimes it takes a little time for it to tell me what it wants to become. And I'm perfectly fine with that. So there's that one. This one's not Christmassy, but I think about everything else is. So some other fabrics that I got from her. There was another pack that I got, which had this sweet little fabric. Oops, I'll turn that around. I don't think it's really got any specific direction. This one was some, and then it had that. And this one here, and I don't know if you can tell, but maybe it's better on this side. Those berries and the branches are kind of all outlined with a sparkly sparkles. And then this pretty tartan. And then there was one other one, and I opened it up just so I could see the whole picture because it was kind of hard to see all the elements of it. But it kind of ties in some of the bits from the other fabrics. So you've got the mittens and the hat, and there's the ice skates. Over here, you've got the little bird with the red berries. There's a sled, and I just thought it was super pretty. I do want to make a Christmas lap quilt. I'd actually like to try to make a couple of them so that I can have them in my living room, one on the sofa and one on my chair, because it's always nice to cozy up under a blanket when it's chilly out. And like I said, I've got a lot of Christmas fabrics here, and I know they're not all going to coordinate well together, so that's why I think I might be able to get 2 quilts. So here's some more. These ones weren't a set. They were just some fat quarters that I liked, so I just got them. So there's this one with some holiday phrases. I thought this one was really fun. All roads lead home at Christmas. I like the red cardinals. My husband likes cardinals too, so he'll like that in the living room. Another phrase one. And then this one, I'm going to open this one up just a little bit so you can see the design. This one's just like a winter like village buildings, church and the general store, and a barn, and a couple different house styles. So I thought that one was really fun. And then, so I think those ones I got, those were all the ones I got at Cotton Weeds. And then we went to another shop in Waterville, which is where I grew up. And I don't usually look at their fabric section. The shop is quite sizable. There's fabric on one side and yarn on the other. So I always just go to the yarn portion of the store. But for some reason I decided to check out the fabric and see what they had for fat quarters, since I found myself kind of on a Christmas kick, Christmas in July, and I found these ones. So, some fun stockings and some trees and just like some ornaments. I really like the popcorn and cranberries garland strung around in there. And then just a classic gingham. And then this one I think is super cute. I absolutely love the little red truck with the Christmas tree. And then this bit is my favorite. The Christmas trees, and then like it's a little stand to go by your Christmas tree, and the lights up. So if you go in, it's dark out, which it usually is at that time of year because the days have gotten shorter. Oh my goodness. And then I also got, while we were there, I got this one because I love blueberries. And I thought this would make a fun needle cozy, and maybe a notions pouch, and then a beeswax food wrap for the kitchen. I'm hoping I can get all of that out of this, but we'll have to wait and see. Definitely the DPN cozy, and I really think I'm leaning toward the food wrap too. So, since I have some notions pouches coming in the mail soon. I also picked up from a different fabric shop. This one is here in Bangor, where I live. It's called the Cotton Cupboard. I picked up this fun fat quarter. And this one. They're just super festive. I went to Joann Fabrics with my mom last weekend or the weekend before. She was looking for something for a quilt that she's working on. There was a fabric that she had run out of, and they didn't have it at the Joann's in Waterville, so we checked here. And I found this sweet fabric. I just love the theme with the gardening. And so I bought a yard, so I've got plenty here to make a few different things. So that'll be fun. I received in the mail another fun fabric. I got this poster right here. This was a design by Katie Green. She has the Katie Green Bean podcast, and she is an artist, and she drew all these British sheep breeds here. And then she had it put onto fabric. So I ordered, I don't know if this is half a meter or a whole meter, but I ordered some of that. It's so cute. It's very lightweight. And I'm not sure what exactly it's going to become. It will speak to me. So I'm excited about that. All right, the next bit of fabric, I actually got this in the mail, and it has a small story behind it. I was scrolling through my Instagram, and I came across a post from Angela, Knitting on the Farm, and she was showing a pair of socks that she was working on, but underneath the sock project was her project bag, which was this beautiful Christmas bag. And I messaged her and asked her where she got it, and she said she'd had it for a little bit, so I knew it wasn't a bag that I could get now. So I went in search for the fabric, and I finally found it, and I loved it so much. Sorry, I'm wiggling the table here. I loved it so much that I bought 4 yards. Isn't that just the sweetest? I'm definitely going to be using some of this in one of my quilts for my living room. I'm going to be using some of it to make a project bag with a matching DPN cozy and probably a notions pouch. I was so excited to get this. I'm sure you can tell. And when I was on the website that I found it on, I was so close to free shipping that I thought, well, let's just look for something else and score that free shipping. So I got this super cute fabric. The little mice in the Christmas tree. I only got a yard of this one, but it's still going to be fun to turn into something sweet for a gift, or maybe I'll just gift myself. I don't know. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, I think that is everything for today. I hope you have enjoyed my episode. I've gone a little over the hour mark, but not too far, so I think that's okay. I hope you've been able to stick around till the end. I'm hoping to have a few more new things to show you the next time, and hopefully it won't be too long of a gap until next time. That's my plan, is to get back here much sooner. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you're in the US, I hope you enjoy the long weekend, and I look forward to sitting down and chatting with you again soon. Take care, my friends. Bye.